Do you ever wonder what happens to the evidence collected from a crime scene? The critical process of evidence testing takes place at the Royal Bahamas Police Force Forensic Lab. March is Police Month, and every week will feature a department of the police force. Tonight, we begin with part 1 of the Forensic Lab. DeAndre Williamson went behind the scenes and tells us how firearms are tested.
Fire in the hole!
From testing firearms to testing drugs, the units of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Forensic Lab are always busy analyzing evidence to solve the country's crime. But for some, testing firearms can be fascinating.
The Firearms Identification Unit's primary concern is to determine whether a particular cartridge case or projectile was fired from a particular gun. Hence, we are able to match different scenes that may have occurred on different days and times. Every day, as armed robberies or murders occur, the evidence is collected from the scenes, and they're brought here where we examine them using a comparison microscope and other tools and test firing of firearms within our shoot room.
The comparison microscope is used to determine a match on a bullet or a cartridge case. Firearms retrieved from the streets of New Providence and the Family Islands are tested in the shoot room. They are then shot into a tank with about 500 gallons of water. After the shots are fired, the cartridge cases are collected and the bullets are retrieved from the tank, which demonstrates the bullets that would be recovered from the body of a person shot. But there's more that goes into firearm testing.
Ms. Fox is doing here is inspecting the firearm. She's doing an initial inspection to make sure all component parts of the firearm is intact. What we do is you just look around the firearm, you see if anything's missing or added or whatever you have it. Then you test it. You squeeze the trigger a few times to see if that's functioning. You cock the firearm a few times by sliding back the slide.
Then the trigger pull is tested. The trigger pull represents how many pounds of pressure it takes to squeeze the trigger.
Fired at 7 3/4, and then it holds at 7 1/2.
In addition to the firearms unit, the forensic lab comprises of other units such as toxicology, biology, and chemistry. We'll take a look at those units later this week.
The impetus for the establishment of the Forensic Science Laboratory was the drug culture of the 80s. So the first discipline that the forensic lab started with was drug chemistry.
All departments of the forensic lab has been successful in the fight against crime. However, Superintendent Earl Thompson would like young persons who are interested in science, especially forensic science, to join the Royal Bahamas Police Force. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.